Hello, welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room recap for Wednesday, September the 2nd. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the Trading Room. This is the address to get into the room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Okay, a few trades to go over today. Let's take a look at the first one is MYGN. Now, the other thing I should talk about, of course, is that the SPY, we're now getting used to the SPY being up and down 400 points. Yesterday it's down 400. Today it's up 200. Definitely makes for some volatile trading, some good opportunities during the day, but you do have to be nimble because when the SPY is up 250 or something, it can drop down to 150 just like that. So I mean, if you're in any long plays, you really have to be careful, and if you're in any short plays, I mean, the reverse can happen also. So let's take a look at MYGN, and MYGN was one of the strong stocks for me of the day. I'd actually been following this one for the last few days just to see what would happen. In fact, let me just bring up daily on MYGN. And you can see, I mean, 4 or 5 days ago, this was a $34 stock. It's at $38 now. Yesterday was a bit of a down day, but look at the doji that was put in. You can see how the sellers tried to drive it down, and basically the buyers took over, so it didn't close too terribly. And sorry, that wasn't yesterday. That was the day before. And then yesterday. Or sorry, that was the day before, and then today we've got the big increase again. So this was definitely on my radar. And let me just bring back the annotations. Here we go. So I actually tried to get in this one right around here at the beginning of the day at $38 and 38.01, and I actually got stopped out at 38. Popped up initially, and then as it came back down, I took myself out of the trade. However, I did want to keep watching it, and as you see here, once it broke above all this congestion area here, I decided to get back into the trade at what was the price here? 38.22. Was able to sell some here at 38.65, and then it popped over. It looked like it was trying to get over 39. You can see it stalled right at 39, and then it had a massive drop here, and I was able to get out here at 38.88 as it collapsed. And now this was a tough day trader, to be honest with you, but I was timing is everything a lot of times, and this was the perfect time to get in here. Did suffer a little bit through this tail down here, but basically a fairly steady move, even though up here again we saw the sellers try to take over and drive it down. But anyway, at the end of the day, it turned out to be a pretty good trade. Now RSO, let me just bring up RSO. Just have to find it here. RSO turned out to be a really nice trade. When I first saw RSO, I think it was right in this area here, and you might think, well, that's the end of it. I mean, how can you get into a trade that is so extended? We missed the move. However, if you've watched these videos before, you know that this is the sort of pattern that we're really looking for. Now, it's hard to see because I've got these arrows in the way, but this candle here, I suppose technically it's not a green candle, but remember what we're looking for. We're looking for this candle being green, this is red, the red bar ignored, and then the continuation of the trend. So I kind of stretched it a little bit here because I guess this wasn't quite green, it was more like a doji, but I decided that this was definitely a good enough pattern. We have a tremendous uptrend, a bit of a pullback, and then the trend continues. So I ended up getting into the trade at 1383 right here. Sold some here at 1416. And I did something that I don't normally do. I actually added to the trade. I know I sold some here, but I decided to get back in to the trade for some more because of this. Now this is more classically the red bar ignored. Here we have the huge green bar up. the red bar engulfed by the previous candle, and then the continuation of the trend. And so I decided to add to the trade right here at 1425. It looked really, really good for a bit. This is up at 1456, and then all of a sudden it just collapsed. And so I exited all my position at 14. What was that? 1437. So two pretty good trades. Again, when people, I get emails all the not all the time, but quite a few times where people are saying to me, how can you get into a trade that is so extended? And if you get the right pattern, you certainly get this red bar ignored type pattern, and it sets up well, then you can do it. I mean, obviously you're not the major move has been missed, but you can still make good profit on these because your stop is going to be pretty tight. If you got in here, where are you going to put your stop? I mean, here it is at 12.54, and at the top of here is almost $13. So you have a 50-cent stop. Here you don't have quite as big a stop. I mean, in fact, let me just get the crosshairs back a little bit easier to see. So, you get in here around 13.79. I got in at 13.83, and you put your stop down here. So your stop is a lot tighter on this sort of a pattern, and that's why, you can see these patterns all day long, and especially if the candles like this, they're excellent to get into. Now, here's a couple of losers. Let's take a look at Score. Now, this was a really, hopefully this is the right one. Score was a difficult one. I actually ended up taking the trade. I mean, 1 second. Oh, this is RSO again. Sorry. Just got to bring. Okay, sorry about that. I did find it now here. We're trying to play Score on the bounce, and now Score is down a lot. And look at this. I mean, it just kept going down. And I tried to play the bounce on this one. I took the trade. What was it at 46.15, and I stopped myself right here at 45. It says 92, but it's actually 45.96 right there, 45.97ish, and it really kept collapsing. Now, I was able to take. I tried to get in here on this bounce play a little bit, but this was really erratic. Now I know some were able to take the trade right here and hang on, but look at some of these tails on here. You got to put the crosshairs back. Here we're at 43.89 up to 4. So you're talking about a 50-cent move. It's on a 5-minute candle, so I mean it's not that unbelievable. But the idea is that when you get into some of these, you like to see a little bit more stability. But this is very choppy. So I actually felt fortunate enough that certainly here is a classic example where you have to obey your stop. If I got a bit stubborn about this and said, oh, excuse me, well, it'll bounce back. Look what would have happened. It would have turned into a really, really bad loss. So this is why you really, really have to obey your stops. Now the other one was, let's just bring this up, was GGP. Now, Dan Merkin, our CEO, popped into the room today and gave us a short strategy. Now, the problem, of course, is that with the market up a couple of hundred points, it's very difficult to commit to anything short. But I know a lot of us tried this one anyway. This was the GGP. It came at 24.94 was the signal, and this was a short play. Took the trade right here at 24.95. You see, it actually got down to 24.84. But I was also looking at this support here. So, even had the market been down, I would have been a little more probably a little reluctant to take this trade. But I decided I wanted to try it anyway. And again, it started looking pretty good. But then as it popped over 25, I decided to get out of the trade right here for a 10-cent loss. Now, to be fair, this is a strategy that is to be held until the last hour of the trading day. So, in theory, it still has another 35 minutes left. So if you got in here at the alert, and you can see how it's starting to come down now, it's possible that it would be no worse than a break even if you did hold on to this. The stop they've put in as $1. It's a pretty, obviously a pretty liberal stop on this one. But the other one, I think Hertz, GNC. Let's take a look at GNC and see how it's doing, because GNC, okay, a little bit confusing. So the signal was at 45.40, And it did get down to 45.17, but so this would have worked to a certain extent, especially if you'd got out here. But again, if you want to hold until the last hour, it is still kind of working, and not bad on a day that, of course, the market is up. And the other one to take a look at was the Hertz HTZ, and Hertz would not have worked. Here's Hertz. The signal was at 1754, and so this would have been probably more than likely a stop out today. But 2 out of 3 kind of working on a day where the market is really up. So, but I take a look at these. I mean, if you're going to try to play a short position on a day that the market's up 200, you really have to have protective stops. Personally, I probably wouldn't do them. If the market's up 50, that's okay, but we have to start getting used to these wild swings, and so this is where, in my opinion, the human element has to come in. So just because you're getting a short signal off a strategy doesn't necessarily mean you should take it. Again, emphasizing the point, the market's up 200. The other one that I did was OLN. Let's see how it's doing. And yeah, I scalped this one. And again, take a look at this on the 30-minute chart, and you'll see why I did it. Here's a classic. Here is the 30-minute chart, and here is the green bar ignored. So again, we've got a nice downtrend. Here is the green bar. Engulfed. Now, I discount the tails, obviously. I'm discounting the tails here, so I'm just looking at the body of the green bar, engulfed by the previous red candle, and then it continues on its downward trend. Let's try to get rid of that box there. And I ended up I probably prematurely ended up scalping it for 10 cents, but this to me is probably, let me get the crosshairs back. This to me is probably one of the better setups, because you are rarely going to find a 30-minute candle so narrow. So when I took the trade, it was right in this area here, and in fact I think it was 52, and I scalped it out at 42. But your stop is only 60 cents from a 52 cent short. So you're talking about an 8-cent stop on a 30-minute candle, which is excellent. So really, I should have kept in this trade, but with the market being up again, it's hard to commit to staying long, very long in any trade. And I think that is it. Let me just take a look at RSO again. RSO is now it's given up 14. Definitely want to take a look at this one tomorrow. Let's take a quick look at the daily to see if this is, I mean, it has now gone through this 1372, this high point here. Certainly, it's going to have this little area here, but boy, I mean, 1567 is the next level of resistance. I think somebody told me this was a reverse split. I wasn't able to verify that, but nonetheless, this should be watched tomorrow for any sort of continuation. Obviously, had a fabulous day today. Yesterday, I mean, 2 days ago, it looked like it was trying to do this. Yesterday, the sellers took over, but again, the market's down 400. You would expect that, and then today, with the market being up, it really popped early, and it gave us a nice trade. All right, let me just bring back the cover, and here we are. Here is the address to get into the room. You can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account, and I hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow.